Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have the Rebor Triceratops Horridus Trident Horn of Doom. Now I did get a request to film more Rebor dinosaurs, so I took that as an opportunity to look through my collection and see what dinosaurs I didn't have. In my collection on display, I've currently got a mixture of Rebor, Howlong Good, and PNSO figures, and I realised I don't actually have any Ceratopsians in my collection, so took that as an opportunity to get this. So we'll have a look at the box here. Is a little bit damaged, that's how I received it, but I'm sure the figure is fine inside, but we'll have a look once we open it up. So on the box here you got the skeleton of the figure actually, and Rebor did two versions of the Triceratops. So they had the other version which was the Trident King, which is just your standard Triceratops, and then you got the Horn of Doom version which has the broken horn there at the front, and the second horn is, I believe, slightly longer. But here we can have a look at the box. Pretty simple design as you always see from Rebor. On the side here you do have, or on the top of the box you do have a collections catalogue, so you can see other figures that Rebor have released. I do have a few of these in my collection which we'll bring in to compare this figure with. You just got the Rebor logo there. So let's get this open and we'll have a look at the figure inside. I'll open it on this side as it is a little bit damaged on this end. Put the box there. Okay, so this one actually comes with a little fact sheet. So I know Rebor used to do this with a lot of their other figures, older ones. They used to include these little fact sheets about the dinosaur, which is pretty cool. Now let's have a look at the figure. Well protected in foam, as you'd want. Let's get this out. Pile the packaging back there. There is the Triceratops out of the box. We'll take a closer look at it. So we'll start at the head of the Triceratops. As you can see on this version, which is the Horn of Doom version, it's got the horn on this side that's broken off. You can see the detail on that actually looks very realistic with how it's broken off. It's not a clean break, you got some longer parts and some shorter parts, which looks very realistic. And on this side of the face as well, you got some damage to the eye. So it looks like it's actually blinded on this side, which looks very cool. And you got some scarring here on the face. The only bit of articulation on this figure is the jaw. It does open up. You can see it's got some cheeks there as well. I was looking at the PNSO version because I collect quite a lot of PNSO dinosaurs, and their version of the Triceratops doesn't have these cheeks, which I think on the real animal is probably more likely to have cheeks, but that's just what I think. That helped me decide on getting this version as well. We'll take a look at the other side of the figure here. So you can see it's got no damage to this eye and no damage to this horn as well, which is very long horn on the Triceratops here. So I think if you compare it to the other version, its horns are slightly shorter, which is what it looked like in the picture anyway. I don't have the other Triceratops to compare here in person, but going off the picture on the box, it looks like this one has a longer horn. And if you look at the crest here on the top, nice detail on that. We'll have a look at the body here. It's got some really nice scaling on this. I quite like the colour as well. I think between this one and the other version they had, the colours are a little bit more dull on this version, but it does still look very good in person. Have a look at the tail there. It's got some striping on the back. And you've got some striping there on the leg. This is a very good looking figure. Let's have a look at that damaged side of the face. Does look very, very cool. What we'll do now is just bring in some other of my Rebor figures to compare to the Triceratops. I think we'll grab some T-Rexes to compare. So here we have the Rebor T-Rex Kiss, which is the latest version from Rebor. So this one actually has lips. I think this is probably one of my favourite T-Rex figures, and you can see how it compares next to the Triceratops there. You can almost have it sort of biting down on that horn there, which looks really cool. You can have it set as almost like a little diorama. These two do look really cool together. And they should be in the same scale. These are 1/35 scale, I believe. But they should both be in scale with each other. We'll see them side by side. Yeah, I think these two go very well together. Bring in some other ones. Here we have the Killer Queen. Again, she's lunging towards this way, so could work that she's attacking this horn. You can tell where this was inspired from. Very reminiscent of the T-Rex from the first Jurassic Park. These do go well together too, if you want to display these. So the last Rebor figures that I'll bring in are the Fallen Queen, which is a display base for the King T-Rex. And we'll bring the King in now. Just make sure he doesn't fall over. But this was actually my first Rebor model that I got. So the King actually came with a little rock that you place under his foot there to support him. It was very small, and I found that he kept falling over. So when Rebor released this base to go with the figure, I decided to pick it up so it's a more stable support for him. Does work really well. Put the King down for a minute and we'll look at the base here. So this is the initial design of the base that Rebor released, and they did later release a updated version of this where they changed the paint scheme to match the Triceratops in the back there. And if you look underneath the base, you can see that they had a plan to have this as a sort of diorama. So you'd have the Fallen Queen and King Trident there as a diorama piece, which does work pretty well if you want to display this with the King T-Rex. He has taken a few falls over the years, but still very nice figure. Just wanted to add that this Triceratops here, the Fallen Queen, is slightly damaged. It did take a fall a few years ago, which damaged the horns there at the front. So this isn't how the figure comes out the box. It is actually damaged. Just wanted to point that out. So my overall thoughts on this figure is it's a great figure to have. For me personally, I wanted to go for something a little bit more unique, not just your average Triceratops. And I absolutely love that Rebor release two versions of the same figure to give you a bit of variety and to choose for what you want to go for. And for me, I really like the look of this Triceratops with the battle damage. It's got the broken horn and damage to the eye there. I just think it looks very cool and very unique. You don't have any other figure like this. And I like the pose that it's in, sort of mid-stride. I love the textures on the skin here, and the pattern on it as well looks very nice, very realistic, and I love the scale of it. It's a good sized figure, and if you got other Rebor figures, this will go along very well with those. There are a lot of good Triceratops figures out there, such as PNSO's one, and I know Eofauna do a Triceratops as well. I was actually looking at their version, but for me, I definitely wanted something a little bit more unique, and I think this Rebor one is what I was looking for. I mean, like I said before, you don't have anything else like this figure, this sort of design, the battle damage, not that I've seen anyway. And for me, this is the one to go for. So as always, I'll add some pictures at the end. Thank you for watching.